thanks for joining us. Thunder Bay Transit workers will find themselves in a legal strike position in a week if talks with the city don't progress. The Local 966 of the Amalgamated Transit Union are getting their members ready for the January 20th date. Operators, mechanics, service crews, and Lift Plus drivers from Thunder Bay Transit have been without a contract since June of 2012. Discussions are going to be held Thursday and Friday of this week, and the hopes of the 966 is that they begin negotiating a deal that would avoid a strike altogether.
We're going to do the best we can do in order to try and, push to get, some kind of a negotiation happening and or a deal. But if we have to do some sort of job action, then it's going to have to happen. And we don't want to put the ridership out, without a ride or anything like that. And that's what our, a weight is put on to so that the ridership doesn't get affected.
A press conference is scheduled for Monday morning where details about the plan will be discussed. City Council appears set to provide financial support for a new youth center. A partnership with the Thunder Bay Indian Friendship Center is up for approval tomorrow night. There has been some opposition to the project, which involves refurbishing the Port Arthur Plus Vita. A petition containing nearly 100 signatures will be presented by those who will speak out against the idea on Monday night. Despite concerns raised by some, most on council are very supportive of the idea. It includes the city kicking in $2.5 million towards the $10 million project. Senior levels of government are also being asked to provide a total of $5.3 million. In addition to that, council is also being asked to provide $300,000 on an annual basis towards operating costs. Also tomorrow night, council will receive a report outlining major challenges affecting the 4-day cares run by the city. The child care operations are facing an 88% budget increase over the next 2 years. Commuters in downtown Toronto are eagerly awaiting their new light rail vehicles from Thunder Bay's Bombardier plant. And the situation became especially urgent last week when dozens of the city's old streetcars broke down during a bitter cold snap. According to Toronto's media report, 61 streetcars were pulled out of service due to mechanical issues in the cold weather. That's nearly 1/3 of the entire fleet. TTC officials say the new state-of-the-art streetcars will be less vulnerable to the extreme cold than the aging fleet. But Toronto residents will have to wait a while longer as the production lines are still getting up and running. The vehicles will be mainly built in Mexico with the final assembly at the Thunder Bay plant. Free prototypes have been undergoing testing for about a year now, and the 204 new cars should begin rolling out later this year.
Personally, I don't know of any particular issues, but I know that with any new contract, there's going to be bugs with it, and that's expected, and they will be straightened out, and I'm sure that they'll come out with a wonderful car.
So the actual production hasn't begun until that testing is done, is that?
Well, I think that they're going to check to see if there's things that they can improve on once they get them into testing to see maybe there's some alterations we can do to make them more suitable to the Toronto public.
Officials from Bombardier were not available for comment. North America Palladium's Lactazil mine is going deep in 2014. With a new head frame and an underground shaft, the operation can now hoist 8,000 tons of ore per day. John Mason is the project manager with mining services with the Community Economic Development Commission. He says despite North America's Palladium's high debt load, its determination is paying off, and that's good for both the city and for the region.
Globally, in the last year has been palladium. So thank goodness we have a mine like North American Palladium. Lactazil mine is one of the few primary palladium mines in the world, and they're certainly a contributor to Thunder Bay and Northwestern Ontario's economy as well.
The value of palladium fell from $580 an ounce to $184 during the recession of 2008. But the company continued its local exploration and made 3 new ore discoveries by the time the market rebounded. The mineral's value today is around $730 an ounce. That's 30% higher than it was before the recession hit. A group of Thunder Bay residents are learning how to use their personal technology. A series of one-on-one iHelp sessions were hosted this week by the Thunder Bay Public Library. Users were given help with using smartphones, iPads, iPods, and other gadgets. Cheryl Holmes stopped by and has more in this report.
I guess the first thing that I wanted to look at was
Nancy Oster came to the iHelp session after hearing about it on the radio. She's going on an extended vacation and wants to learn how to keep track of emails from a remote location and keep in touch with family and friends.
I was prepared, so I made a list of questions that I had, things that had cropped up when I was trying to use it before. And I mean, it's things like paying bills online. You know, I'm going to be in a foreign country, so I have to figure out how to do that in a secure way.
Oster was first to arrive at the session, but getting a space was hard. The 4-hour one-on-one clinic was booked up start to finish. This is the 8th session, and so far it's proven to be very popular.
The first time we did iHelp, it was just an open drop-in, and we had about 50 people show up at the beginning, and it was a little bit of mayhem, and the Wi-Fi signal got jammed up and everything. So now what we do is book 1-hour appointments for people, so they get an hour of one-on-one time to get all their questions answered.
Most people are worried that 1 hour won't be enough to answer all their questions, but with the help from people like Andrea Jacobson, the process runs really smoothly.
I love technology. I've grown up with it myself, and I really like to help teach people so that they can feel comfortable with it. We're going in a really interesting direction with technology where we will always have our paper books. People who may not have read before are reading on a very different level. They've got their iPhones, their iPads, their Kobos, and I just really want to make people comfortable and let them learn and read in a different way.
Chapters is one of the partners of the program, along with the library and TBT. The goal is to connect the community so that people aren't just buying these devices, but so they're using the services in them as well.
A lot of people my age have these sort of new technologies, and we don't really we don't utilize them as well as we could. If we knew more about them, we probably would you know, actually use them in a more productive way.
No future sessions are scheduled as of yet, but if you are one of those people who need some help with your new technology, the answer is only a click away by contacting the Thunder Bay Public Library. Cheryl Holmes, TBT News.
It's a change that affects 108 patrol officers, 36 communication officers, and 19 records officers. The Thunder Bay Police are getting ready to transition to 12-hour shifts with hopes of cutting down overtime costs. For our TB News Watch question of the day, we wanted to know if you think the change won't only improve service but save money.
Well, that's a good question. I know it was better for us. I worked 12-hour shifts when I worked at Provincial Mill, and I greatly liked working 12-hour shifts. I enjoyed it very much. It gave us more time off. Now, as far as improving service, I really don't know. I couldn't answer that.
I guess if they figure that's more efficient for themselves. I don't know what they work now, so.
No, it won't improve the service 12-hour shifts.
Why?
That's why they got to be walking on the street and better that way. Then they can work 12 hours.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Well, they're going to be on shift longer. They're going to be connected to the public longer. I think it's going to be good to see them out and visible to the public.
Another Sunday Funday has come and passed at Prince Arthur's Landing. The combination of some fresh snow, a little sunshine, and some fancy sleds made for quite an afternoon. It was so much fun for the kids that our reporter Mike Albanese even borrowed a sled himself to test out the hill.
Warm weather and one of the best turnouts in weeks made smiles a common occurrence at the Prince Arthur's Landing. With almost 30 people within the first hour, sliding seemed to be a fan favorite for the year.
We're really excited, and I think sliding's just something that everybody's done as kids, so it's really fun. The parents are really excited and the kids are pretty pumped too. There's some nice bumps in there, so they're getting some good speed and they're really enjoying themselves.
The free events run every Sunday from 2 to 4 and have caught traction with certain families. Shanks says she commonly sees the same families enjoying the fun times, and one mother says she is excited with how the landing is becoming a family destination for fun.
We pretty much come here most weekends during the year, all different times, but yesterday we were here, we were skating for quite a while. There's a whole bunch of people, and today we came down again also, my husband and daughter, and Grandma, Grandpa, and the dog, and we started off sliding and then went skating for a while and hot chocolate, and now we're back sliding again to make a whole day of it.
Next week there will be a snowshoeing event to help you feel like you can conquer our high levels of snow. Mike Albanese, TBT News.